Ah, there's the recording. Got it. So, Cameron, how can I help you today?
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 5 of Cameron's Nostalgia Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strickland, and today I have with me Martin P. Robinson. How are you, Robin? How are you,
Uh, I'm
Martin?
fine. I'm fine. This fine day. It's gorgeous out. It's cool and sunny, and I got a good view of everything, including you. What's up?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Now, for any of you guys who don't know, Martin is a puppeteer for the Muppets and Sesame Street. He was Telly Monster, Mr. Snuffleupagus, and Slimey the Worm. Did
I
you voice
still am.
Slimey?
I still am. No, you said I was them. I still am.
Now, Dick Maitland was the voice for Slimey the Worm.
Yes. Yes, it's a character that we actually collaborate on. Muppets. One of the keys to the Muppets is you're doing the voice as you're working the puppet. So it's part of it's what makes them so immediate. But in the case of Slimey, that wasn't possible because of the higher range of the voice. It had to be separate. But we do it. We're separate but live at the same time.
Yes. In addition to the Muppets and Sesame Street, he was also on Allegra's Window, where he was Rick the Cat and Allegra's dad.
Yep, I love that show.
And he was the Cat in the Hat in season 2 of The Wubblest World of Dr. Seuss.
That is true.
And he was the puppeteer for Smoke Alarm, The Truth About Cigarettes.
Wow, yeah, that's a deep dive. That was a very early HBO project many years ago.
And he worked on several movies and many more.
Yep, maybe 5 movies so far. And some other, and you have any don't forget Little Shop of Horrors. That's one thing I'm actually proud of.
Nice. I used to watch Sesame Street when I was little in my old house here.
Uh-huh. Cool.
And I used to watch programs all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been on for since 1969. So it's been on for a while. I started in season 12, I believe. Back in season 12, they thought, wow, we've been on the air for a long time. But we're getting ready for season 54. Starts this coming January.
All right. Let's start with our first question.
Okay.
How did you get interested in puppetry?
The way I got puppetry was kind of an accident for me. There's some puppeteers who always wanted to be puppeteers. They're like their whole life. That wasn't my story. I came to New York from Wisconsin to go to acting school, and graduated from that 2 years later. And I got a job as a marionettist in a traveling show. It was one of those things that I auditioned for, and I was accepted into it. And they paid $75 a week, which was great back in 1974, 75. And so I went out on tour with a marionette company and kind of learned puppets that way. It wasn't until a couple of years later when I worked for Bill Baird's Marionettes, that I really got excited about puppets and kind of decided, yeah, I think I want to be a puppeteer now. It was for me, doing puppets was I could play any type of character, animal, vegetable, mineral, tiny little Slimies, big, huge Snuffleupaguses, which is why I was interested in acting in the first place. I wasn't interested in actually playing myself. So puppetry turned out to be perfect for me.
Nice. So, what was your first on-camera debut?
First on camera job? Oh, that's a good question. No one's ever asked me that before. First on camera. When I was working for Niccolo Marionettes, we did a special with Rocky Graziano, the boxer, where Rocky Graziano played the giant, and we did a version of Jack and the Beanstalk. And that was shot. That was the first thing I ever did on camera, but that was working with marionettes. I did some work for Bill Baird. We shot some stuff. We shot some specials for Bill, so we did stuff on camera for that, but that was still mostly marionettes. It wasn't until I got hired by the Muppets that I really started working on television and monitor technique. That was part of the whole training process, was learning how to work a monitor. Left is right and right is left, and it's everything backwards. So I had to learn that skill. And that was when I was first hired. That was part of the training process. And then it was a lot of film and video production after that.
All right. Oh, I remember you have some of your puppet friends, which is the Scream puppet with that purple sweater thingy.
Right. Yeah, that's a puppet that I used to teach with. It's he's my teaching partner.
What was his name?
Bohush.
Bohush. Could you show him to me?
I could. In anticipation of that question, I ran upstairs and got him. Bohush is right here. Come on, buddy. This is little Bohush right here. This is him in his puppet state, and this is him in his animated state. Okay, hello. My name is Bohush. I was built by a Czechoslovakian. A Czech. It was Czechoslovakia back then, back when I was made. Now it's Czech Republic. I was made by a Czech Republican who named me Bohush, and that's where the name came from. So that's Bohush. He's kind of my teaching, like I said, partner tool. I travel, do a lot of international traveling, setting up Sesame Street productions around the world. We have affiliates all over the place, and I do the training and hiring for the new puppeteers, and use him to get the job done.
I have a friend who lives in Czech Republic. His name is Dr. Shrappa. And she was from the Czech Republic.
Uh-huh.
And she was born in Czech Republic, and she moved to Canada. And she resides in Deer Lake. And she's very nice of me.
That's great. That's great.
So, and she was very cute of me. And I have a puppet from Czech Republic.
You do? Yeah, because they make good puppets there. There's a long history of of good puppet building and good puppetry in that part of the world.
Yes. I'll be right back.
There's lots of puppets back there. There's Muppet styles and furry things and things off the shelf and things.
This is a puppet from Czech Republic.
Marionette. He's nice. Very nice. Let me see what kind of what the control is like. What kind of control have they got? Oh, it's that one. Yeah. I've got something like that. That's a nice little control with the wire to the head. Yep. He's nice and made out of wood.
Yes.
He's a cutie. I see you've got a lot of hand puppets on the shelf back there and laying around. Are those all ones that you've gotten from online, or were any of those actually made for you?
Well, I see them online. And my mom buy those in stores.
Excellent. Yeah, they look nice. I like the ones back on the shelf there. Yeah, those look cute. Looks like they're nice and flexible too.
Yes. You worked for Go Diego Go Live. What was
That's
it like
right.
working on the show?
That was the last big show I ever want to do. That was a massive show that I had to build dozens of characters for, and they were all on really long rods. They had to play on big theaters, and they were had to climb trees, and it was all kind of complicated rod puppets that we had to it was a big contract, and I actually had to hired, have you heard of Monkey Boys, the Monkey Boys Productions? They're really, really great puppet builders. They work the Saturday Night Live contract. They do a lot. They built puppets for the Little Shop of Horrors that's running. Excuse me, it's running off Broadway now. I don't think this is.
Call from Torino.
No, I can't take that one. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about?
Go Diego Go Live.
Go Diego. Right. Okay. Yeah. So it was big contract, lots of producers, lots of directors, puppets all over the place. People, I had to hire a bunch of crew. It was I may have broken even on it. I think I just managed not to lose money on that deal. It was kind of the last big, huge contract that after that, I said, no more big contracts for other people unless it's my show. And after that, I did a huge build, probably even bigger than that, for a musical that I wrote. But then, I got to build the characters, that I designed, and I got to build them my way, as opposed to Nickelodeon's way.
Nice. So, you have worked on an award-winning show for preschoolers called Sesame Street.
That's right, I remember that.
And you got to perform Telly.
Yes, I still do.
And you have Telly. Do you have him?
I have a retired Telly. He's old Telly, but I will not bring him out because he looks terrible. I don't know if you know, foam, especially reticulated Scott foam, has a limited lifespan, and it crumbles and turns to what we call toast in the business. And so Telly has turned to toast on the inside. So he's kind of a shapeless bag right now in his face. His his lovely big nose that usually is kind of pear shaped is just a bag of crumbs. So he looks hideous.
Oh, will you show him to me?
No, no. Respectfully, no. It would be upsetting to show him to anyone. I really don't bring him out at all. I'm glad to have him because it keeps the shop from throwing him out. But no, he's in terrible shape. You would be very disappointed. Trust me.
All right. Can you do the voice of Telly?
Well, yeah. I mean, I could explain to you why the voice of Telly and Telly Puppet go together, and why they're best together. But it would take me longer to explain that than it would take you. Oh no, what are we gonna do now? We're in big trouble. Oh, Cameron, we're doomed, I tell you. Anyway, it's it's a little loud and a little, but you have to kind of cut things off here and push really hard and add what I call a gravel. I mean, everyone can. And there's little gravel and there's big gravel. That's little gravel. That's medium-sized gravel. That's big gravel. Depending on how you abuse your vocal cords, you get those different sounds, and then you speak with those vocal cord sounds. It's no fun for your throat. And after a long day, I can be basically finished talking for the day. I'll come home and say, tell my wife, I had a great day. But I'm through talking. I can't talk anymore. Yeah, and when I have a Telly and a Snuffy day at the same time, that can be really hard on my voice.
I know. You did Snuffleupagus.
I still do.
And do you have him?
Do I have him? He's 8 foot tall and 15 feet long. They would never. First of all, I have no storage place for that. Second of all, they would never. It's a it's a very valuable character that needs to be taken care of. They take very good care of that in the shop. The only reason I have Telly is because he was retired and he can't be seen on camera anymore. But no, they don't give me puppets. I mean, I have Bohush because I do lots of teaching, and sometimes I'll get on a plane and go, and it's hard to get him from the shop. So he is allowed to live with me, but he's the only one.
I know. You haven't done the voice of Snuffy.
I can do the voice of Snuffy. It sounds best if you do it in a.
Oh dear, what are we gonna do now? I'm sitting here waiting for my best friend Bird, and he hasn't come. Oh dear, no play date today.
This, when I do Snuffy, I'm talking in a long tube. And the microphone is at the end of the tube, which is actually at my waist. And I talk into a tube up here, and the tube goes all the way down to my waist, and the microphone is down there. So it gets that hollow sound. So it's acoustically altered.
Nice. You puppeteered Slimy Worm.
Yes, still do.
And you didn't do Slimey the Worm, and you didn't do the voice of Slimey the Worm.
That's right. It's done by our sound man named Dick Maitland, who has been with Sesame Street since day one.
Nice. Dick Maitland was a Foley artist.
He still is, yes. One of the best in the business.
And what was it like working on Elmo's World?
Those were interesting shows. You know, a lot of green screen. You know, not real backgrounds. They had some interesting innovations for that. I loved the little things they used to make the drawers work and to make the clock. They had some really interesting hands-on live puppetry things that actually interacted live with the animation, which was really cool. Other than that, it was like most other jobs on Sesame. You know, puppeteering different characters on set. Usually not my regular characters. Very often the characters on that show were what we call one-offs, which are, you know, a character you just do that one time and you don't really do it again.
Right. Oh, back in November 10th, 1969, you watched the first episode of Sesame Street when you're 15 years old.
That's right. With my mom. She was a teacher and she didn't want to watch it alone.
Yes. And Sally moved to Sesame Street in the first episode.
Who moved to Sesame Street?
Sally.
I don't know Sally.
Yes.
Oh, was that that was the little girl that they're showing around?
Yes.
Yes, that Gordon says, oh, you haven't seen a street like this. This is like nothing you've ever seen. And he shows her all around Sesame. Yes. Oh, I didn't know the little girl's name. Sally. Great.
Yes. Moving on from Sesame Street, you have worked on a Nickelodeon show called Allegra's Window.
Yes, I love that show.
And the series is streaming on Paramount Plus. Well,
yes. Yeah, I'm very glad that the whole series is there. It's, I'm because my VHS tapes of it are, you know, probably not that good anymore.
Is it damaged?
Yeah, I mean VHS tapes from the early 90s, they're probably not super high quality anymore.
Yes. What was it like working on that show?
That was one of my favorite shows that I've ever worked on. It was I had a lot of input on that show from the beginning. The designs of the characters. My company built all the puppets. I hired the crew that you know, and then worked with them to build everything. I pretty much hired all the puppeteers. Great. It was one of the greatest puppetry crews ever. You know, Kathy Mullen played the lead part. Anthony Asbury, Pam Marciero, Tim Lagasse, one of his first jobs out of college. Heather Ash. It was really a great crew, and I love that show. It was I was you know, I was kind of in charge of, you know, making sure the puppets all worked well, and you know, I would go to all the production meetings and was in every show, and it was very busy time. We shot that in Florida, so I was living away from home at that point. It was one of my most hands-on jobs ever, and one of my favorites.
It was shot in Nickelodeon Studios in Universal Studios.
Yep. And at lunchtime, we would go into Universal and ride the Back to the Future ride or go to one of the restaurants. It was really nice, kind of being a whole part of Universal Studios. I liked that. That was kind of being part of that family.
And you have worked on another Nickelodeon show, which is The Fabulous World of Dr. Seuss.
That was a co-production between Henson Productions and Nickelodeon. So they were both producing that. And yeah, that was an interesting show to work on too. I took over the role of the cat in the second season.
Do you have the cat in the hat?
No.
Oh, okay. What was it like working on the show?
It was an interesting show. It was very challenging, a lot of running around. The puppet went all the way down to my shoulder. It was one of the longest puppets I've ever worked. So I had to work it in a very, very I had to work it in basically in this position the whole time, so that it was up and my head was out, because they needed to shoot down to here. So it was a tough shoot. But the cat's playhouse, the set that we were in, was all live. It was everything was, there was very little green screen on the second season, which I like. Everything was there. One of my favorite aspects of it was the Cat in the Hat and Terrence McBird are best friends, and Terrence McBird is probably only about this big, the whole crazy puppet, and it was like a little plucked chicken, and it was worked by Anthony Asbury, one of the finest puppeteers in the world, and Anthony Asbury in real life is my best friend, and the cat and Terrence McBird, hey puppy, were also best friends. So it was nice having the show and reality kind of mirror each other.
I saw your dog in the background.
That's one of I have 3 dogs. Yeah, one of them pushed through the door.
Who pushed through the door?
I think that was Daisy.
Daisy. Nice. And you have worked some movies, including Follow That Bird, for producers, Muppets Take Manhattan, and The Adventures of Elmo and Grouchland.
Yes, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
5 movies.
5 movies. I think it's 5. Yeah, I should know that. I think it's 5. Yeah, we were so close to doing another Sesame Street movie. I think this is not proprietary information. We were actually scheduled to have the read through, and some of the people had already recorded songs when COVID hit, and the whole thing got shut down, and never came back. I think the set was being built out on Long Island. I mean, there was already a lot of money invested into it, and then it got shut down during the lockdown, and never saw the light of day again. That was too bad.
All right. I forgot to show, and you forgot to show Slimey the Worm.
I don't have Slimey the Worm. I forgot to show him. I don't have. He's another puppet I don't have. Even though he's a lot smaller than Snuffy. It's the only puppet I have here is I mean, except for the puppets I've made, which I have dozens and dozens, maybe a couple of hundred puppets that I've made, but I make puppets very differently from the Sesame Street style.
Oh, Right. I have a VHS copy.
Ooh, look at that. There it is. Nice. Yeah. There's yeah. That was fun to shoot. Oh, I see the little pesties, the little bugs down on the bottom. I was one of those those are little pesties, the little bugs. I was one of those bugs. I think the tall one, either the tall one or the blue one. I don't remember. Yeah. So uh Telly was, I don't know, was Snuffy in that? I don't remember.
Snuffy's not here.
But I don't remember if he was in it. I probably should remember that, but there's some nice stuff with Telly.
And I have 4 DVD copies. Let me show you.
Of Elmo and Grouchland. You know, I've only seen that movie, I think maybe once. I mean, definitely once. Oh, look at that. Wow. Why do you need 4? You can only play one at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
All from Brother Robinson.
It's all right. Got my phone right there.
All right.
Yeah, we shot that actually in the same studio that we shot Ninja Turtles in. And yeah, Ninja Turtles. We those were all shot in the same place. Down in hold on. Hi, Mom. Yeah. Hold on a minute, Cameron. You can cut this part out.
All right.
Thanks for your indulgence. That was my mom. I'm going down to fly down to visit her tomorrow. She's checking up on me.
Sorry about the call.
It's okay. When your mom calls, you got to answer. That's sometimes.
Oh, Where were we? Yes.
Elmo and Grouchland. Why do you need 4 copies of Elmo and Grouchland?
I don't know.
Okay.
What was it like working on Elmo and Grouchland?
It was nice being back in town, being back in Wilmington, North Carolina. I like that town. The studios were nice. I love working on feature films. There were great restaurants there. You know, it's a you spend time with with your best friends. You know, the Muppet folk, who the other Stephanie DeBruzzo and Dave Rudman and Kevin Clash, and all those dear friends. It's a fun, intense time. I enjoy working on TV and on films as well. A lot of downtime on films though. We work much faster on TV.
Are you frozen?
And your image just froze.
Okay. Your internet connection is... Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right, go again.
Where are we? What did you lose something there?
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It happened.
You know, we already talked about Elmo and Grouchland.
Uh-huh.
All right. Do you have behind the scenes pictures and photo? Do you have behind the scenes footage or photos of Elmo and Grouchland?
No. I mean, back then, not everyone had, cameras. So no, you would have had to have a handheld video and and a regular camera. No, I've got very, very few. I can't think of any backstage stuff from Elmo and Grouchland now that you mention it, which is weird. No. I've got backstage stuff from Ninja Turtles. I was taking a lot of photos then. But no, not from Elmo and Grouchland. I can't think of one. Weird.
Okay. What about Elmo's Mindfulness Spectacular?
That doesn't ring any bell at all. That's something. Was that an episode we did, or a special we did, or what? I have no recollection of that.
Maybe not.
Definitely not. Otherwise, I would tell you.
I saw that trailer on channel 199 on AMC, which is Helpsters.
Uh-huh. Helpsters, yes. Yeah, I love Helpsters. That's one of my favorite shows ever. And we just finished. Hold on. There we go. Rename. Okay, there's the right name down there. Yeah, Helpsters. We shoot that. That was shot on Apple Plus. It was Apple Sesame Workshop co-production. I love that show. I love that show so much. The scripts were great. The way the show was run was just terrific. Love the characters. It was me and Stephanie DeBruzzo and Tim Lagasse and Ingrid. Oh God, Ingrid, crazy Ingrid from Canada. She's Canadian, so you don't have to remember her last name. And it was just an absolute joy to work on. Second,
Hansen,
Ingrid Hansen. It was a joy to work on that show. I love. I performed a character named Mr. Prim, and I really one of my favorite characters ever.
Oh, Mr. Prim.
Yes.
Could you do the voice for him?
I'm not going to do the voice of that one. That one really doesn't work. The puppet and the voice really need to be seen at the same time on that one. So I'm gonna politely decline. He's got a British Middle European accent. My recommendation is to tune into the show. It's really is worth watching. It's so much fun. The scripts are so funny, and it's a very improbable show, kind of slightly unhinged from reality. The way Sesame is kind of based in reality a lot. They got characters on this nice street called Sesame Street, and it's it's very mostly real stuff happens. But on Helpsters, it can get a little unusual. Anyway, so I would just say tune in.
All right. You appeared on Law and Order organized crime, where you got to
Right.
be the octopus puppeteer.
That's right. It was a very interesting 2 days work.
What was it like working on this show?
I loved it. We were puppeteering an octopus that was passing for real. It had to. It was not stylized. It was not. There was nothing about this octopus that wasn't supposed to read as absolutely real live octopus. So there was a maybe a 2,000-gallon tank that was in this apartment. Jen Barnhart and I worked it together. It was with green rods, which were then removed later in post. And so it was all actually worked underwater with us from above and behind in the tank, working this silicone octopus that was basically exactly based on reality. It was very challenging trying to get this thing to pass for real, and to have a scene. There was a really nice scene with this bad guy, just a real bad guy who kept this octopus to terrorize his people that he wanted to bend to his will. And there's in this scene, his henchman takes this guy and sticks his head into the tank, and we had to attach ourselves to his face, and pull his face with the suckers. It was wild. It was a wild shot. We did most of the shooting in one day. I think we came back and got some pickups the next day. But it was also right in the middle of the lockdown. It was before there was a vaccine, and people were very nervous. They had that the production had been shut down twice by COVID. And there was the health protocols really hadn't been put in place yet. It was a tricky, dangerous time.
All right. How about Ice lose fellowship and partners?
I didn't catch that. Say again.
Artifice lose fellowship and partners.
I have no idea what that is. Are you pronouncing it correctly?
Hold on. But they're going to translate.
Yeah, what language is that in?
English.
Oh, okay, good. Because it's not ringing any bells as far as recognizing any of those words.
Listen.
Artifice, lose fellowship and partners.
I have no idea what artifice, loose fellowship and partners. That means nothing to me. That's some computer having its way.
You got to be Albermary.
I got to be what?
Albermary.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, sorry about that. That's okay.
Where are you getting your information now?
I didn't get any information.
Well, okay. I mean, what's that? Albemarle. What's that from?
It was rated PG-13.
What is that? A movie?
A movie, yes. It's drama.
Never heard of it.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, let's move on. Okay. You have worked on Penwaiga.
Hanwapa?
Penwapa.
That was a project long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago. It was a project that my wife wrote. That they had big plans for that never went anywhere. Kind of before the internet. It was a kind of a pre-internet show. I have almost no memories from that, except that it was an interesting concept, and my wife wrote it.
All right. You have worked on a TV movie called Elmo's Christmas Countdown.
Yes, that was with Anne Hathaway. That was fun. I actually flew. I was in at a family reunion in Michigan, and flew in to work with Anne Hathaway for that. That was very exciting. I think she's wonderful, and so did Snuffy. Yeah, she sang the song, I want a Snuffleupagus for Christmas. Only a Snuffleupagus will do. Based on the old I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. But, you know, sung by Anne Hathaway is fine with me. And then Snuffy popped out of a huge present, and she got what she wanted for Christmas.
I Want a Snuffleupagus for Christmas is the parody of I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
That's right.
And she was sung by Anne Hathaway.
Yep.
And I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas is sung by Gayla PV.
Yeah, that's an old song.
How did you remember that song?
I remember the song because my girls really like that song, but mostly I remember it because Anne Hathaway sang it to me. That's something you don't forget anytime soon, probably during this lifetime. I think Anne Hathaway is spectacular. Spectacular actress.
All right, listen to this song.
That's the original one. Yeah, that's the original Hippopotamus, which is a fine song.
How's that?
That's the original song. Sounds just like it. It's a classic.
All right. You got to be the fiddle in kids' favorite country songs.
You're digging deep into the archives now, Cameron. You're coming up with projects that I did once and barely remember, probably 40 years ago. I have worked on Sesame. I mean, besides the main characters that I work, the ones that everyone know, I've worked, I mean, literally hundreds of characters that I've done once or twice. One of the way we work very, very quickly on Sesame, and one of the talents that you develop is you learn to memorize things very quickly, and to learn your scripts and make decisions, creative decisions very quickly. But then just as quickly you have to forget them to make room for me, to make room for the next scene, the next project, the next day. So as soon as the director says, okay, that's good, we're buying that, moving on, that's ancient history for me. I very often won't remember something a few days later very well, a couple of years later, hardly at all. And 5 6 years later, I'll see a bit that I know I shot, but I will have absolutely no recollection of it. Because we shoot them and I don't watch them again and again. As soon as we shoot them, I never see them again. Unless I need to watch an episode of Sesame Street to critique something, to be reminded of something, or to look at somebody else's performance. Other than that, I don't watch it for enjoyment. I shoot it for enjoyment, and as soon as we shoot it, I move on to the next scene. So people sometimes will have seen projects that I've done or shows that I've done. They'll see them 5, 6, 27, 50 times, and I've seen them once the time that I did it, and so I just honestly don't remember things from the past. Unless unless it was hugely memorable. But that's kind of the way I work. My brain works in the business.
All right. You have worked on the PBS show called Between the Lions.
I did one day on Between the Lions. One day.
All right.
And that's a great show. A lot of my best friends are in it. Anthony Asbury, Kathy Mullen, Pam Marciero. It's got a brilliant cast. It was a brilliantly conceived show. The puppets were built by 3 Design, my friend Jim Krupa and his company. It's a great show. It's a great show. And I came in one day and played the grandfather.
Grandpapa Lion.
That's right. Totally memorable. One day work.
Out in outer space.
What about it?
It's an episode.
Of what?
With Grandpa Lion.
Oh, really? That's the one I'm in?
Mm-hmm.
Zero recollection. Except that I was there and I worked Grandpa Lion.
Yes. What was it like working on that show?
Very unmemorable, seeing as how I don't remember it at all, except being there with my friends and working this grandfather character, and literally Cameron, one day, probably 25 years ago. Not something that I pressed in my book of memories.
Okay. Let's see.
You're digging hard, Cameron. You are digging into the archives. I just see you digging deeper and deeper into things that I will have no recollection of. But go ahead, test me if that's what you want to do. It's your show.
Okay. You have worked on the TV show called Dog City.
Yes, I did one day on Dog City as well, playing a Scottish Terrier with a really thick Scots accent. That was that was even longer ago. That was a long time ago.
Yes. What was it like working on that show?
Again, almost unmemorable to the point of being ludicrous. And not because it was any fault of the show, it's a fault of my brain, it being so long ago. I remember doing a really thick, outrageous Scottish accent for this a repairman who was repairing something. It's all I recall. That was mostly Kevin Clash's show. He played the lead character and did a beautiful job. That was all shot in the Henson Carriage House on 67th Street. the whole series.
It was Mr. McTaggart.
That sounds familiar, Mr. McTaggart, right? And no, I'm not going to do the voice for you.
You have worked on the 1985 film Follow That Bird. What was it like working on that movie?
Yes, that was fun. That was the first feature film we did. We shot that up in Canada. I was fairly new to the character then. Let's see, that was we shot that in 1984, I think. So I'd only been working Snuffy for maybe 4 years at that point. So I was still fairly new to the character, but fairly comfortable with him by that point. It was fun. Pulling up roots, going up to Canada, going up to Toronto, living there, and then working in this great film studio way out of town. They take us there on a bus every day, and it was an interesting shoot. They recreated the entire set up there on a sound stage, and I mean, you can see the movie and see how they recreated it. So it's all the areas on Sesame Street, the TV show, that you don't see, that are like literally always behind the camera. Those all existed, so the camera could go anywhere. The curbs were all real. The cement was all real. It was kind of nice living on a real version of Sesame Street. Yes, but Snuffy wasn't a mainstream character at that point. He was still unseen. All the adults all thought he was imaginary still during that time. So he never got to mix with the entire cast. He was watching Bird's nest while Bird was away. So he was basically in Birdie's nest for much of that movie.
All right. You have worked on Little Muppet Monsters.
Yeah, another project from ages ago.
What was it like?
That was a spin-off of kind of the classic Muppets. The idea being that there's Muppet Kids that are putting on a show in the basement of the Muppet Theater where the Muppets were doing the Muppet Show. It was kind of the idea. Every once in a while, a character would from the Muppet Show would be at the top of the stairs and like talk down to them down in the basement, and they were it was the premise was young kids kind of putting on their own little TV show. It was a cool idea. Richard Hunt, real interesting character in that, and Dave Rudman and Camille Bonora. I was kind of an assistant and a background character for that, but it was fun to do. We shot that up at 125th Street at a massive studio up there. I don't know if it's still there, but that was enjoyable. That was a long time. Does it say in your information sheet there? Does it say what year that shot?
1984.
84. Okay. Wow, that was a busy year, because that was also the year we shot Follow That Bird as well. Man, yeah, that was a lot of work back then.
All right. And what about Muppets Take Manhattan?
That was shot here in New York City. What was that? Silver Cup Studios, maybe. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed working on that. I was very early in my career at Sesame. We had just finished shooting the special at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We just finished doing the Don't Eat the Pictures special there, and then rolled right into the into Muppets Take Manhattan. And I ended up working on that film for, I don't know, month and a half. That was really enjoyable way to kind of learn my craft. I was still I consider just kind of an apprentice back then, but it was great fun. I did the Swedish chef's hands for that. I did a lot of penguins and background characters. I was doing stuff all over the place in that. Just part of the crew.
Nice. You worked on a short film called Muppet Side Splitter. What was it like working on that short film?
I have no recollection of that, or the name or anything.
Oh. You puppeteered the pigeons in
Pause a minute, Cameron. At 2:30, I need to pick up my daughter. So we've been going for over an hour. How long? That's her calling. How long do you want to continue for?
I don't know. How long?
Well, like I say, at 2:30, I've got to go pick up my daughter.
I'll pause and continue the recording.
You're gonna pause while I go get in the car and drive and pick up my daughter from school?
Okay.
No, that's not okay. Once I pick up my daughter, I've got to got other responsibilities. So we're gonna probably need to wrap this up in 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Oh, right.
Besides, I mean, the projects you're getting into are really really long ago and far away, and my answers are going to be pretty much I don't remember.
To wrap this up, we only have 5 minutes to wrap this up. I need to ask some questions about Bahush.
Okay, what kind of questions do you want to? What kind of questions?
About Bahush.
Yes.
What was his favorite food?
He's not that kind of character. I have very, very big backstories about main characters that I play. He's an incidental character. He's a tool for teaching. So he doesn't have a back. Annie, are you gonna get Lyra? Okay, thanks. Oh, we got a little bit more time then, but I still do have to wrap it up fairly soon. Yeah, there's no backstory on Bahush. He's a very useful, very sweet little tool.
Your wife Annie has to pick up your daughter, right?
That's right.
And you're not going to wrap this up.
I still, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. I'm curious how long your show, how long people can listen to me ramble on about old shows.
Yes. I need to ask this puppet some questions.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I was talking about the 3 basic puppet basics.
Yes.
Lip sync, eye focus, and character.
Yes.
goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Eye focus.
That's right. That's good.
Character.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's those are, you know, when I'm teaching puppetry, those are the I teach you know, the techniques one at a time, and then you kind of add each technique onto the character until well, you know, the technique has to be just kind of natural. You can't be thinking about technique when you're performing. You just have to take care of the technique and then be thinking about the character and what the character's motivations are and how they're reacting.
All right. Well, Marty, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I'm good. I'm here to serve your process as best I can.
Yes. I need to say goodbye to Bohoosh.
I can put him on if he's still here. Yeah. We got to share the screen because
Yes, Cameron. Can I help you? I am here for you today. What? How may I serve?
Well, Bohoosh.
Yes. Right back at you.
I just want to say goodbye to you.
Well, thank you, and goodbye to you.
All right. Bye, Bohoosh.
Thank you so much. Pay no attention to the puppeteer behind me. Bye-bye.
All right.
All
Stay
right.
tuned. There will be more guests coming up. Until next time, peace.
all righty. Got to get an after school snack ready for Lyra, and then we got parent teacher meetings tonight. So it's a busy day.
All right.
All righty.
Now,
Bye-bye. Thanks.
you're welcome.
Bing.